Hi,
bad.
how's it going, man?
Man,
What a
when you
week.
start fucking with me instantly, bro.
Those gotta love those Kansas City Chiefs, right?
I mean, bro, bro. Let's take a let's see. How about we let's talk for a bit about going back in time, okay?
Okay.
Let's go back in time here. It was the end of last season. We were both having about the same feeling.
Yeah.
And you said, man, that sucks, and it, which, oh, sorry, didn't mean to bump, but
I'm
which
good.
was understandable, okay? Um,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I can't believe we got by that one again, like holy cats, and which is understandable. But you said we'll be back,
I did.
and I said, fuck yeah, bro. I'll see you in the championship next year, right? And you said yeah, and we high five, and we knew what was up, bro.
Yes.
We knew
Okay.
we knew what was up. That was very fun, and I'm glad that the season played out for you guys to be able to get that far again. Because I knew that team you've got there. I mean, James Cook.
He's
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean
running
that's a,
back. I think he is I think despite, before James Cook, we had McCoy. Before McCoy, I think it was,
I mean,
we had Fred Jackson and
you guys have had some
yeah.
great running backs in
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Marshawn Lynch was in one of
This
them.
might be a show about me just giving your team mad props, dude. I mean, Cole
Yeah.
Bishop, fuck, dude. What did he do? 10 fucking tackles. Love
He played
defense,
pretty good.
bro.
He played solid,
He had like 10
in replace
tackles,
of
dude.
Rapp.
That
Yeah.
means he was there like literally all the time, you know, all the time.
And
No matter.
I think
Hey,
Hamlin
Daniel.
had better. I think
Daniel.
Hamlin was underrated this year as well.
Yeah, Hamlin did really good too. Shit. I mean, what Matt Milano had 9 tackles, you
Yeah,
know?
Milano, man, is as long. Here's the deal with Buffalo. If they stay healthy, they're gonna be they'll be right there with Kansas City. Oh, they always have been,
We
right?
called this stuff last year,
Yeah,
bro.
and
you
we called
know?
it in the offseason. They said Buffalo, Kansas City, AFC Championship. I said that, and you
Yeah.
were like, "Yes, that'd be neat."
So
Right?
hey Daniel, we started this show out with me saying, "Hey, let's take a trip back in time and let's talk about the exact same feelings we both had last year
Mhm.
right at the about this time." A couple days after the fact so that the guy has a chance to collect himself and then look at the good and we talked about this about last year's team too. So I was just thinking about Buffalo's defense and I mean, so what Cole Bishop, right, had I don't I thought it was like 10 tackles,
I
right,
can look at
Anthony?
the stats. Let me get on the computer
And
and
then Matt Milano had like freaking 9 tackles. Dude, that's half of the plays. Two guys were in on all that shit, right?
yeah,
Joshua Beckett says,
it looks great. But who are the Chiefs?
who are the shit?
Or the chefs? That's right, the chef.
The chefs.
That's right.
I I remember when that commercial came out, the
That
original
was awesome.
one. Nice. But yeah, how many did Cole Bishop have?
Uh,
I
I'm
like
working on it right
defense,
now. I'm
boys, and
trying to get
so
on the
I'm
internet
giving
here.
Anthony props about his Buffalo Bills, and I was just thinking about all of the good stuff that happened. even Ed Oliver got a fumble recovery, dude. I mean, your team is there. It's just it's just a matter of time, really. But it's a matter of time until my coaches are all scabbed away, and that's what it's probably going to take. I mean,
Well,
they're
I mean,
already
we
trying
could
to get
we could
spags
talk
from us.
about what we talked about earlier, right? And you
Hmm.
wanted to say something about it. Um,
Yeah, yeah, hit me up.
I feel like, to be quite honest,
Hey,
I just
giggly moo.
well, I'll say this. Like I think Buffalo, they didn't play to their potential, in my opinion. I feel like they didn't do what they did to get themselves to where they are, in my opinion. And
So you're thinking there was more gas in the tank?
I think there
Maybe
was, and then
maybe they didn't
despite
play it hard
this,
enough.
okay, so despite of what of the calls in the 4th and 1 or whatever it may have been, right?
Yeah.
My takeaway on this is like when you do the tush push like 15 times or 20 times in a game, I mean, you're not gonna get all of it, even though necessarily that maybe it was there, maybe it wasn't there. I'm not gonna what's done is done, and you can't sit here and think about the past anymore, right? So you just got to move forward and figure out what to do.
I mean,
Like,
I think about
mhm,
the tush pushes you guys
uh-huh,
kept doing, okay? And I
yeah,
kept thinking, how much practice you guys are giving us for Philly?
yeah.
You guys are giving us so much practice for Philadelphia. It's
I
that's what
just,
I was thinking. Hey, Packers fan,
I
what's up?
feel like
Buffalo
I
Bills
feel like
Nation.
yeah.
It's the truth. Be be for real, Chiefs fans. The referees cheated us. So, I mean, geez, did anybody get fired? That like, if it's so bad, how did the referees cheat you? Because I was sitting right next to Anthony. We were watching the game together, and I think what really caught two first downs weren't gonna change anything because the Chiefs would just drive down and score again.
Well,
And
here,
it
like I
was
said,
just a
yeah.
go ahead,
And
brother.
before earlier today too, right? Like we talked about the red zone offense.
Mhm.
Buffalo did not capitalize in the red zone. They had opportunities and they kept on playing that. They kept on going back to the same play over and over. It's like you need to, uh what's
Well,
the
yeah,
word?
because even
Yeah.
you were calling what was gonna happen, and I was like, dude, they've done it 4 times.
They need to be more creative, I felt like I really do feel like it was like they didn't play their style of football. Like the first drive with Buffalo and Allen, I don't think he was scared. I don't think he was nervous. I think the anxiety got to him, if that makes sense. Anxiety and nervousness is a two different thing, but and maybe it's the same. But I felt like he was trying to. I think he was just trying to force things in the first drive, and that kind of set the momentum for what Buffalo was going to do. Like I know when it comes
Well,
to games.
we all
Mhm,
know that Josh
yeah,
Allen will put on his cape and try to
yes,
win every game by
yes.
himself.
But see,
You know,
I
and
also I do know that like the coordinators and the coaches, they have a game plan, right? They know what they're going to do as soon if this doesn't work, they're going to go to this. But the problem is I just felt like when they adjusted in from the first drive to the second drive, they kept continuing to do the same play over the same plays over and over again, or even the same formations and some of the other stuff.
yeah.
Like I just felt like they didn't do a lot more stuff. They didn't do a lot more than they could have. They didn't pull out of their sack of plays that they had in the beginning of and
I mean,
throughout the
I
season.
seen some shit, dude. You
Mhm,
guys were taking
mhm.
advantage of us.
Yeah.
There was some good opportunities. Now, when Kincaid dropped the ball, Jesus, Allen was halfway to the ground, almost to his back, and just
He
he
had
got
no
it
he
there,
had no
dude.
he couldn't be
He got
accurate
it
because he
there,
had to
bro.
throw the ball. He had to throw the
So
ball to where he knew his man was gonna be at, which was
I hope that
amazing.
if Josh Allen ever watches this, he
Mhm.
knows that I see you, bro. I see you,
He there
MVP.
was he had it right
You
where he
know,
needed to be at. He just
dude,
if
he
he
was
had
getting. It
mhm,
reminded me of a lot of times when Mahomes is literally just like Jeebus, and he's just
yeah,
his body has gone to the side, a vertical or
yeah,
horizontal, and he still slings that ball and it hits the mark, right? It reminded me a lot of that, or like there none of these guys hold a candle to when Ryan Fitzpatrick had his head turned around backwards
right.
and still hit a guy 40 yards
That
down
was
the
the
field or
Dolphins
however.
versus Raiders game, I think it was.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
that was crazy.
They had his
But
head twisted
yeah,
around backwards. He slung that ball to his guy, man. Let's see. Daniel says the Bills are so good. Josh Allen is so good. It's always the difference of one or two plays that decides these games. I
and
dig
maybe,
that.
but I don't know if a first down would have dictated the game. I don't know if it would have.
I
I mean,
mean,
if you think
honestly,
about
the
it in
Chiefs
in
were on
general,
a roll, dude. They
if you
wanted to
think about
be.
it in general, you think about it in general, I mean,
Uh,
look at what Buffalo did in going to the red zone. They stalled out 3 points. Maybe it would have went to overtime. But you want to know what? Maybe Buffalo wouldn't have been able to get that touchdown. Maybe they would have went fourth. Maybe it would have been fourth and goal, and they
and I
just
had a
couldn't get it done.
nightmare,
You
dude.
know
I
what I
had a
mean? Or
nightmare
maybe they would
literally
have
the
went
night
had to
before.
do a field goal. Because field goals don't win championships. Field goals don't
I
win
had a
games half the
Anthony.
time.
I had a
Huh?
overtime nightmare the night before that,
Yeah.
and you guys won the coin toss, but you
Mhm,
didn't do what the 49ers did.
mhm.
You guys took that shit and you know you said, here, we want to see what we got to do, so you get the ball first, and the Chiefs had to take the ball first. That was in the nightmare. And it was an overtime nightmare.
I
I
don't
was
know.
just
I
kind of
yeah,
kind of amazed at how good. So people wanted to blame, who was it? Liam. Yeah, you were blaming Liam, and I understand that what you were saying, but
Elam.
Elam, that's right, Elam. Why do I keep calling him Liam?
I wasn't really trying to. I
Close.
wasn't. I wasn't really trying to blame Elam. What I was trying to say was that we need to do better in that position. You know what I mean?
So
And
yeah,
when I
so
made that comment,
coaching. How about positional coaching? Because
yeah,
other people wanted to blame McDermott. How about positional coaching? Because maybe just because they worked in that coaching tree and everybody's good friends and stuff, maybe they're
hmm
not really doing their job as position coaches, you know? Because if you get a linebacker coach and your linebackers are afraid to tackle, there's something fucking wrong. And I know
you know what?
yours aren't,
Yeah, but
neither are mine.
yeah, I was kind of concerned about the defense at the beginning of the season, honestly, because it was a new defensive coordinator. Granted, I know he was with Buffalo, and before I think he was a linebackers coach or something like that
So that's
before he
cool. That's
became,
cool. Move him up to
you know,
DC.
but the thing about it though is, I
He's been
understand.
great all year.
No, well, anyway, like I'm saying, like it's a new coach. He's in a new position, so he has more than just one responsibility now. Instead of one position, he has to worry about everything else. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Yeah.
I mean, give the man credit to where credit's due. I
Dude,
mean, it might
seriously,
not.
all
I mean,
year,
that
Anthony.
defense. Your defense isn't going to be the greatest at your first year being a defensive coordinator, right? I mean, you're not
Hmm.
going to be the greatest. You're not going to win a Super Bowl your first year as a head coach, right? I mean, if you do, that's amazing. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now. I mean,
Now,
there's
I beg to differ because sometimes a guy gets a shot who's the right guy and something just magical
a
happens.
first
And
year
it's good. It's
coach
bound to
that's never
happen, dude.
coached in the
You're
NFL.
right.
I
That's
don't.
why I want to
Yeah,
see it, dude. I wouldn't mind
yeah,
seeing Aaron Glenn get his first time as a head coach. Because did you see him in that interview for the Jets
yeah,
when people were like, yeah, so this reporter starts going and he just cuts him off and he goes, "We're not going to deal with that shit. We're used to that shit. Like we're New Yorkers, We're going to
yeah.
handle this business." And all of a sudden, those New York Jets fans all just went, "What? We got a guy that like used to play on the team, and then he got a coaching job, and he got all the way up there, and he took a team to be from mediocre to really good, really good, all the way deep in the playoffs. And they're
Yeah.
gonna try to see if he can do it right. So I hope that he keeps that when he has to deal with Rodgers, and he says, "Look, here's a new contract for you. You can stay, but you got to. I don't give a shit about your darkness retreats. You're going to be here at practice every day. You're going to get to know these guys, and you're going to do this, or you're not going to have a fucking job here. And it's right here. Sign it or get out, and then find a franchise quarterback and build a team that fits him. Because if Aaron Glenn sees a kid that can read his defenses, because that's a defense guy, right, Glenn?
Yeah.
If he can find a quarterback that he would be worried about, that can read a defense, that can pick a defense, or you pick a defense apart and read it. I think handing that to a good offensive coordinator and a good quarterback coach, he could build something in New York, dude. It might be fun.
Yeah. My
It
thing
might
with the
be
Jets,
fun.
my thing with the Jets, with a defensive coordinator as a new head coach of the Jets, right? The Jets have the pieces, but the thing about it though is Hackett as the offensive coordinator and Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers started doing very well, but the thing about it
I
though is that offense is going to sputter at times.
I
I
just think that
honestly,
Rogers brought Hackett in because he
mhm,
knew he could bully Hackett.
yeah.
He could push
So
around his boss,
I,
dude.
as
Fuck.
long as they have Hackett. My thing is this is maybe I'm wrong, maybe I could be wrong here, but I think with Hackett still as the OC of the Jets, I don't think the Jets have a chance. I don't think they can go far. I really don't
Well,
think so.
I think what's I hate to speculate because I really don't know what the hell
Yeah,
they're doing over there. I know changes are
yeah.
being made, bro.
I hope
You
they
know,
have a different offensive coordinator because I
I
think
think
if
they just brought in a guy as a that was a linebacker coach to come
Mhm.
in and help out on their defensive coaching. He was at the Lions, and so Glenn is doing something over there. And I think if guys aren't willing to play ball, he's going to just lose them. I think he's that guy. I mean, think about
Mhm.
this, man. I work, okay? I worked a 10-hour day today, you know. All I want is Wingstop. Fucking drive. No, I'm kidding. That's a YouTube thing. Um, but I worked 10 hours today, and then I had to guide all these guys. Um, well, mostly just a couple of them, and have them help me out to get this job done, right?
Yeah,
And so there's a couple guys that are doing this other thing that I know they're going to be fine, and we've got like one roustabout that goes between the crews and helps out, and then there's me and another guy, you got to keep everything in order. It has to be absolute perfect to grade. And there's giant machines moving everywhere. Giant machines moving everywhere. And so it kind of makes me think about how Glenn is going to have to go into the Jets, and he's going to have to get along with the guys for one. That's the biggest thing, but still be the guy that says, "Look, if you can't do it, I'm going to get somebody that can," you know, and keep it at a pace where he's still the boss, you know. If he can do that, and if he can get Rogers to actually
be
just
a
like, what
leader.
the fuck are you going to Egypt for?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck are you going to Egypt for? There's practice. This is millions of dollars. I mean, I don't get paid shit like by football, and I talk great about all these football players and teams. And so all I would say is Glenn is the kind of guy that used to be a real worker like us. You
Yeah.
know, you're an electrician, you know. I mean, he used to be a real worker like us. And
Yeah.
so he knows like what it takes in the real world to get shit done. And the NFL is such a fucking show. And these kids, all they've known is I went to college, and now, oh my God, there's spotlights everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And so you need a boss. You need a boss. Andy Reid's a boss, right?
Yeah, I think when it comes to Buffalo and next season, they need like I said earlier, they just need to be more creative on plays. They need to be,
I would like
you
to,
know.
Anthony, I would like
Mhm.
to add something to that.
Yeah.
You need the cool boss that you know isn't going to put up with your shit, right?
Mhm.
An understanding kind of fella, because people fuck up.
Mhm.
You know, I've looked around this whole planet. I have never seen anybody that didn't fuck up.
Yeah.
I heard there was one guy. I never met him, but
Yep, right.
but you need a guy that can play the role right, keep it going. I think Glenn's going to do it. I think McDermott is the guy. He
I
can
think he's
do
gonna
this.
continue to do it. I think,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
So
I just
some certain coaches on his staff maybe could be upgraded because maybe they're not getting the point across right to these guys. They're not
yeah,
developing them in the proper way or something.
yeah,
But I know Kansas City mostly is about the endurance, bud. It's just
yeah.
endurance, endurance,
Mhm.
endurance. And so at the end of the game, when everybody else is tired, they still got some gas. And they've got Andy Reid who can on the fly break out that book, that little black book, and go scheme, 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 scheme. Show the guys that what he just drew up.
Yeah. Let's go to
And then,
town.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, if McDermott would jump in and do some of that, like that creative stuff, like you're talking about, that would get you guys to the Super Bowl. Not saying it would win it, because you got a lot of holes you need to plug
I think
if you're going to
Buffalo's
come
gonna
and beat
I believe
Kansas
in
City.
Brandon Beane, I believe in Sean McDermott, I believe in Joe Brady, and I believe in Bobby Babbage. You know, I think a lot of people that are trying to have, these
Daniel
guys'
Barry
heads.
Sports. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, I think some of the Bills fans that are wanting the heads of these guys, I think personally they just need they I don't think they're true Buffalo Bill fans. I'm sorry, you know. I mean, I get it. People are like, "Oh, I've been a Bills fan since the '80s, since the '90s, since the '70s."
I
Okay, I
saw a
get
lot
it.
of
I'm tired of
silliness,
losing.
bro.
I'm tired
I
of
saw a
losing,
lot of silliness out of Bills
you know?
fans.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're the kind of fan that deserves a championship, because you're gracious even in a loss.
Mhm.
You'll still give the props where it's due. I don't see you throwing blame everywhere but where it belongs, you know. You did take it out on Elam. Did I say it right this time?
Well, I wasn't projecting it on Elam. What I was saying though was that we have a weak spot in the back position whenever we're hurt. I understand these guys are professionals, but there's been mistakes made, and I was just trying to allude to that in a sense. You know what I mean? I know
Right,
people are not
right.
perfect. Okay, I know people aren't perfect, but I'm
Well, and
just
I'm not gonna
throwing it out.
blame them. I'm gonna.
There
That's
is a
what
weak
I
spot,
think. That's what just got
you
us
know?
into the whole. I was
Yeah.
blaming the coaching, like the
Yeah.
positional coaching,
Yeah.
and
You
yeah,
know, the
okay, I
safety,
get
you
it.
know, the safety position. We didn't have Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. We need to find a
Dude, Micah
dynamic duo
Hyde.
like that again. You know what I'm
Wow,
saying? And Micah Hyde's
what a
retired now.
player!
After that Bills loss,
What a
the next
player,
day
dude.
he claimed he's done. He's no longer doing it. You
I
know,
mean,
I believe
so he's gonna just go
yeah,
back to being Dr. Jekyll now. He's not gonna. He's
not to
not
being
gonna
Mr. Hyde
go
anymore.
all go all hide on people, you know.
You know what's going to happen with Poyer? Will Poyer come back to Buffalo? That'd be something because he
Poyer
only signed a
was
1-year
pretty good,
contract with
wasn't he?
Miami.
I
You
remember
know,
Poyer. dude.
You know,
I so
Buffalo's in but well, see here's the deal. I think we just need to stay away from what we had in the past because these guys are older now. We need to find something young, a new young blood, and develop them into what Poyer and Hyde was, right?
yeah,
And allow them to be that safety, those dynamic duos in this backfield or in the safety, you know, in the defense, and
gotcha. Yeah,
and be the next Poyer and Hyde, you know? We just need,
you know,
because here's the deal, you can only be great for so long, or those players can only be great for so long until they start dropping off, and then they start, showing their age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know Josh
yeah.
Allen, he's 28 years old. Eventually, it's going to be a make or break for him. If is he going to stay
He
in
looked pretty
Buffalo?
fucking nervous out there,
Yeah,
bro. He looked pretty nervous, and I
I
don't
think
know
he was
what.
more anxious. I don't think he was
I
nervous.
mean,
He was
dude,
more
he
anxious.
was getting mobbed,
Yeah.
and you
Well,
know it. He was
yeah.
getting
Well,
fucking
throughout the game, yeah.
mobbed by my guys, bro. This is a whole different monster. Everybody says it,
Mhm.
but literally in the playoffs is the Chiefs change shit, and don't try to be saying it's the refs and these bad calls and shit. And I know you never knew, but there was a lot of talk from a lot of Bills fans. I wonder if they can learn how to act like champions like you do, because you act like a champion about it, you know. You're literally a champion about taking a loss like that, right? And I hope that the other Bills fans could like take note from that. I did see a Bills fan who was doing interviews with um Chiefs and Bills fans at the
Mhm.
game before the game. And everybody was having so much fun and it was really nice. And I liked that. And I was wondering if that carried over after the game, because even after the game, I knew that I knew you needed your time. Right.
No, I was fine.
So
We talked. We were still live for a
I know
while.
you were. It was crazy, dude. You were way too fine with it. And but
Bro.
then the next day I was just like, I let him recover. But you're calling me up, going, "Yeah, bro, yeah, it was a good game, and this and this." And are you seeing what these guys are saying? And I'm like, yeah, there's still a lot of silliness. I hope that those guys that we're
Not
speaking
trying
of
to not try to
learn to act
discount
like
some of the call.
champions.
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to discount anything. Maybe the referees did do something wrong. I'm not gonna get
People
involved in that
fuck
though, to be
up.
quite honest. I'm not gonna get involved with that though, because to be
Yeah.
honest with you, what it comes down to, you can't always rely on the referees. I'm sorry, it doesn't
Well,
matter. You have to be able to play your
one of
game
those guys was
as
talking about
well as the
holding,
referee.
bro. Holding.
Yeah.
So literally, NFL guys will tell you there's fucking holding every play. Everybody's
Mhm.
fucking holding every play. There's holding. If if they put like all these cameras on everybody and called every goddamn thing that went wrong, a game would take, you know, a week. It would be a week solid of Jesus, Liz. How much laundry is on the field, you know? Every play
Unfortunately,
would just.
yeah.
Mm,
But like I said earlier, unfortunately, Buffalo didn't execute as well as they should have. I feel like I said, the play designs, they net, like I understand the Chiefs defense and whatever and how well they played, but at the same time,
right.
it's the scheme. You have to have the formations, you have to play what the defense gives you, but you also have to
Yeah.
make sure that if you're going to do something, that you have to protect the quarterback and you have to give him the time to do things, and if you don't do
So
that, you're not gonna be able to execute those plays.
yeah, totally, dude. So, but here's my problem with even when you figure out all of that shit,
Mhm.
then you got referees not letting guys play fucking football, right? And so in
That
my
Yeah.
head, let me take you for a
Mhm.
little ride inside
Mhm.
this motherfucking bean. So in
Okay.
my head, football players are knights in armor, and they're battling on that front line, and then you've got
Mhm.
your cavalry that runs around, and your basic goal is to get your flag to that guy's castle, which is the end
Yeah.
zone. And so what the
Mhm.
NFL is doing is taking all of these rules and adding them to it, which is changing it and making it more of a guy with just clothing on fighting with a rapier.
Mhm.
You see, do you see? Now you got a whole bunch of skinny, fast guys that aren't afraid to get cut, and they're going to fight with a rapier instead of a fucking battle axe, right?
I appreciate that, King Money, man. It's all good. I'm fine, you know. Next year will be it'll be an interesting year. I'm hoping that the AFC East is a little bit more competitive than it was this year, and you know, because uh, a lot of people downplayed Buffalo again on that as well. We played in a weak division apparently, you know, and it's just
No, that
well, that's what
is not
a lot of
true.
people are saying that though. A lot
A
of
weak
people are saying
division,
that.
dude. The Patriots are literally on the doorstep of something
I'm
fucking
talking about. I'm
great
just
right
talking about
now.
this past season. You know, because obviously
Oh,
you're in the Super Bowl now. But I'm just saying this season. You know, they were saying, well, Buffalo, heck, they clinched they clinched the division in Week 12. Well, yeah, you know, but at the same time, you know, I mean, they're still NFL football teams. You know, you still
dude, I
got to
had a
play them.
really good
You
time
cannot,
watching Patriots games
yeah,
this year.
you cannot just go that week and just say, "Oh, the Patriots, it's an easy win." You know,
No, you
maybe
can't,
so.
dude. You
You know,
cannot because they'll
it's
fucking
yeah,
sneak on you. I
yeah,
don't know if I don't know if they had it ready, but they look like they started building already to get Vrabel there because now with
yeah.
Vrabel, you've got a fucking contender coming in, instant contender, dude. I don't fucking care who you are, Jesus.
You know the cool thing about
Vrabel could have
Vrabel?
turned the Jets into a
Mhm.
champion or into a contender in the first year, you know.
Yeah,
So Vrabel's gonna take those Patriots and fucking he's gonna Harbaugh that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He's
yeah.
gonna fight
You know,
Harbaughs.
the cool thing about Vrabel though is that he'll find an offensive coordinator that will do what he that needed to do to be
Dude,
successful.
they'll flock to him to do it for cheap
Yes.
so he can save money for the team
Yeah.
and take less for the coaches because they want to be on a championship team. That's the kind of guy Vrabel is. He
Mhm.
commands power, dude, like and respect and shit. He's just that coach, you know. I mean, and watching him and Campbell, like as they're getting older and stuff, and
Mhm.
literally Reed is gonna have to pass this torch again before too long. Reed's getting up there, bro. I don't know if he can do it for 5, 10 more years, you know? I mean, he was ready to retire a couple of years ago, and the boys were like, Coach, if you stay, we'll win you 2 Super Bowls in a row, maybe three. so so Vrabel's one of those guys. Harbaughs are those kind of coaches.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And watching this new bunch of coaches come in, maybe one of these guys has that um what do they call it? Genique c'est quoi or whatever the I can't say it right, but
Finesse.
maybe finesse. Maybe he's got that. I don't know, man. Luck of the Irish or something. What do you call it, dude? Maybe he's got that thing on his side that just makes everything work. Maybe one of these new coaches coming up can be the one that takes down the
And
Chiefs, you
get
know?
that aura
Yeah,
around him.
well, and Vrabel has that. And
Yeah.
so I saw that in Glenn in that interview. So I mean, your AFC East is getting stronger, and the Dolphins better do something quick, or they're going to be left out in the
Well, you
cold,
know, I
bro.
think they have
And they don't
like
like to be in the cold,
Dolphins.
apparently.
Yeah, the Dolphins did their defensive coordinator is was on his first year too, right? Just like Bobby Babbage of the Buffalo Bills. So
Yeah,
because Fangio went to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I can't blame the Dolphins defense, dude. I'm a defense guy. They did a
Yeah.
fairly decent job. You know what I mean?
They have
Yeah,
good players. The
there's some
Miami
holes to
Dolphins,
fill.
yeah, the Miami Dolphins have great players. They really do. And Tua is not really a bad quarterback. You know, I think when it comes down to it, I
He's
think some
not
of
a
it,
bad quarterback,
no,
dude.
he's not.
Not a great quarterback is the problem.
But I think
So
that comes down to coaching. It comes down to,
it
executing
comes
plays
down
at the
to
time.
you're a good quarterback, but you're never going to be a great quarterback.
Mhm.
The the problem being you are so prone to injury, you're putting yourself out there in bad situations. And I realized that these guys, they want to go win, you know, but goddamn, like there's a sneaky way to do this where you don't get hurt at all, you know.
I feel like in some aspects too that the previous season when when the Dolphins had a record-setting offense, and then
Yeah.
the next year they fell. They fell off. Like what happened? Like how did they go from being the best offense in the NFL during the season to the worst or to the mid pack, the following year? You know what I mean? It
So,
blows
I
my
mean,
mind.
one vet can change that. Like
Yeah.
there's a hole, and all these coaches are getting so good, they'll take advantage of one weakness, dude. You got one fucking weakness. What's your weakness? The Chiefs is weak. The Chiefs' weakness is God. They just kind of look all like they do an okay job, but they just keep fucking winning.
Yeah.
What's their weakness, dude? What's the Chiefs' weekness?
But they were
I
injured all
mean,
year long. You
it
guys
was
had
all
injuries
injuries,
all
right?
year long.
We got our guys back, bro. Next year, I mean, I see that Justin Reed is going to be a free agent. Man, I do not
Uh-huh.
want to lose my guy. That's the hardest working safety we got. You put him with Watkins or Watson, sorry.
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah, you put him with Watson, and that's like a dream come true for me.
But you know what's
Because
crazy too?
Justin
Yeah.
takes, dude, he takes this, man. Even if your kicker goes down, the kid
Mhm.
can kick a 40-yard field goal, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
He'll play with a broken hand and not even complain, you know. He'll always be there and happy for interviews and smiling and just nice, just really nice. And that to me is why the kingdom is so great is because of players like him. And so if he will be willing to play ball and you know make a good living because I believe that he deserves a giant check, but I
Mhm.
think he could take us through this Super Bowl and to another and just fucking amaze everybody with a four-peat,
Yeah.
bro. I mean, that's 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 a fantasy of mine. I just hope we can keep him because he's just that good, you know.
Mhm.
You don't want to lose those fantastic guys that are willing to work that hard, right? And
And the
like
thing
take it
too is like I know I seen a lot of fans are saying we should have drafted him because look at this, and they're trying to compare, this and this, and it's like, if you think about it, it's about
drafted who? Like Worthy?
yeah,
Like
if
you
Bills
guys
would
should have
have just
drafted
if the
Worthy?
Buffalo would have picked up Worthy instead of Keon Coleman,
I think Worthy was making a statement to Buffalo there. Okay,
I
so
don't.
I
Yeah,
don't think you can blame that on anybody. Worthy just kept saying, "Fuck this,
no,
give me
no,
the
no.
ball. I want
That
to show these guys."
you're taking what I'm saying out of context here. What
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying is it like if you would have put Worthy in Buffalo, it wouldn't have made a difference if Worthy or Coleman was on that offense of the Buffalo
Yeah, it
Bills.
would. Yes,
No,
it
it
would have.
wouldn't, because I'll tell you
Yes, it
why.
would have.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, I've got
I
a good
think that's
argument for this. Let's hear it.
it's the offensive scheme. Like I said,
Okay.
Buffalo
Okay.
had
I understand what you're saying there, but I'm going to say this. Josh loves to throw the long ball.
But the
Worthy
difference
loves to
of this
catch the
year,
ball,
but
dude.
the
Did you see what he
difference,
did?
did you not? Well, I've watched every Buffalo football game this year,
Fuck your
and
scheme, dude. Worthy, run that way as fast
I
as you
get that.
can.
But
You run
Joe
that way as
Brady,
fast as you can, okay? Ugh.
but no, but listen though, but
He would have
that's what everybody
changed the
wants them to do,
Bills,
right?
dude.
But that's not the
Huh?
case because Buffalo did things differently. It was everybody eat mentality. They were just trying
Yeah.
to figure out what they can do. See, the thing is Buffalo needs to put in some of those schemes to do that. They never did that.
Yeah.
This season,
I think
they
Worthy could have changed your team a bit, dude. Like Josh would
mm,
have felt a lot
I
better about
disagree.
those
I
long
totally
balls.
disagree. Like I said, I totally disagree. I don't think it matters. I
Worthy
think
turned from
Mhm.
a like a kid you throw a ball to. He turned from that into when DeAndre Hopkins showed up and Worthy started watching him. Okay, watching him like in practices and stuff. And now we ain't even done anything with Hopkins yet. But you watch that man in the Super Bowl, buddy. I think Hopkins is going to eat because he's been open quite a few times. And all you got to do is just chuck the ball towards him. He'll fucking catch it. He'll just drop right to the ground right there, too. And he's smart enough, he will be past the first down. Worthy saw that. And so you seen him against your team, man. He would fucking like a little bullet gone. And then when he got near the ball and the ball was coming, he turned from a kid that you throw the ball to a receiver, dude, a pass catcher. He goes after that ball. That's his fucking ball. You're not going to get it. He'll fight for it. And he had to fight for it against a great big strong guy. And I believe that he had that pulled in and tucked. And then everybody fell to the ground. The other guy had his hand on it too, but he fell to the ground with it and he kept it. You even concurred during the game, during the replays.
I do believe. Here's the deal. I do believe this is
Worthy would have changed
if
the fucking Bills, dude.
If Buffalo had Worthy, he would have probably been in the position that where Curtis Samuels had all season long. They would have hurried and just dumped off the ball and just give him a quick pass. They wouldn't have done the end arounds like the Kansas City Chiefs does because that's what Buffalo does not do. Buffalo doesn't scheme plays to where they're not creative. I don't think, but like I said, I don't think Joel Brady has been too creative on the offense. And that's what I said earlier today. Buffalo
Right.
and Joe Brady needs to be more creative in the offensive schemes and the offensive plays. And if he would be more creative, I think Buffalo could have been. I think they could have done something. I think they could have been more. This is the what it could have, should have crap, right? It's done, but
Yeah.
it's done and over with. But it's done and over with now. But all I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if he was more creative, maybe he would have converted a couple of them fourth downs. Maybe we wouldn't be talking about the referees screwed us or whatever it may have been.
Uh,
But what it comes down to it
yeah.
is poor execution. It was poor execution by Buffalo in that Kansas City football game. Okay. Buffalo did not convert the fourth down or the 3rd and 1, and they end up kicking that field goal. They didn't convert on that missed opportunity of whenever Buffalo had that turnover against the Chiefs on that one drive. They punted the ball on that turnover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They need to convert. They just did not execute as well as they should have. And it doesn't matter about those damn calls. If you take two of those poor calls that everybody talks about away,
Yeah.
and if I don't think it would have made a difference. I really don't think
No,
so.
because I think what happened there was somebody had said something about Josh Allen
Mhm.
running a touchdown in against the Chiefs and beating us during the regular season. So Mahomes decided to run two of them in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to put on our capes. It's the playoffs, man. This is where Mahomes lives. I think there was going to be an answer every time the Bills scored. There was going to be an answer. I do believe that's what was coming, and it was
Yeah,
almost impossible to fight it. And
because if
so,
Buffalo, instead of going for those damn 2 or 3 tush pushes back to back in the red zone,
mhm.
if Buffalo was able to convert that, Kansas City was gonna score. I do
Oh
believe that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
they
maybe the
definitely
defense,
were, and
maybe
they're
who
gonna
knows
do it
what would
to the
happen,
Eagles. And I tell
but
you what, dude,
yeah,
the Eagles, Saquon Barkley better score or better run for like 200 fucking yards, or the Chiefs are going to win this game. Because I watched Jalen Hurts, and if he plays like that, like he played in his last game
mhm,
against a scared team, if he plays like that on offense against Kansas City, he's going to get eaten alive, and we are going to try to shut down Mr. Barkley.
yeah,
And I realized what a fucking badass that dude is, dude. He's fucking amazing. And they've got a great line to block for him, too, by the
yeah,
way. All respect to the Eagles line. But they ain't going to get away with no fucking tush pushes on us. They don't have Big Jason there anymore. And it's just not going to work because Jason was the key to that tush push. That's why theirs is not as good anymore. You guys did
mhm,
it just as good as them, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I've seen the Bills do it more times this year, better than the Eagles have done it this year.
Yeah, but you
I
can't
mean,
rely on tush pushes all the damn time. You
yeah,
gotta be more
I
creative.
don't think it should be allowed. I think that's called
Yeah,
assisting or aiding the runner, and I think
mhm,
fuck that. I don't see anybody assisting Mr. Barkley. He just fucking runs. He runs the ball different, dude. You don't have to assist that guy. Why would you squish him to shove forward for another yard and possibly fucking hurt him? Pop a
yeah,
joint, fucking break a goddamn finger. You know, like everybody's mashed together, and those are giants, brother. Those are fucking giant boys.
yeah,
And why would you why would you squish me between you when I'm better to run around the outside and get a bunch of yards really fast? Because I'm faster. Why would you squish me? I'm fast and strong. If they try to tackle me, I could juke that shit. I'm so fast. Now you've popped my hip because there's fucking three or four, 290-pound guys shoving me against three or four 290-pound guys. You know, that fucked me up.
and you know
Right?
what? I think we talked about this a while ago. That I think we might have talked about it today too a little bit. But like, just because a team blows out a team, or like say Buffalo or Kansas City gave up 120, 130 yards or whatever it was in the run game, that doesn't mean that the Kansas City is going to give that up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Just because the Eagles are number one in rushing, in rushing this season, doesn't mean
Oh,
that they're going to be
they
number
brought in
one.
a
You
beast,
know,
dude. They brought in
but
the
that
guy.
doesn't mean that they're not going to get theirs. But it just depends on week for week. I mean, look what happened what the Dolphins did last year when they did 72 points against the Denver Broncos, and they had to go to Buffalo, and then Buffalo put up 48 points on them, and
I
they
mean,
only,
literally, bro, the Eagles were only trying to get LaShawn McCoy.
yeah,
They wanted, you know what? They were after Marcus Allen. You know,
yeah,
somebody that's going to come out there and be guaranteed to be able to squirt through there and get you that first down. That's all they were hoping for. And then Barkley is just like, oh, I guess you guys didn't realize I'm him.
yeah. Well, the Giants definitely are kicking themselves in the butt. But you know what? Saquon's happier in Philadelphia, and you know what? That's good. I think this Sunday and sit on, or excuse me, 2 weeks from
I
now,
like
or
his
a week and
name
a half from now.
Saquon, but that's why I call him Mr.
Yeah,
Barkley, because
yeah.
if I meet him and he says I can call him Saquon, I'll just be like,
Saquon, I'll tell you what, that man.
he's a
When the
fucking
Giants, got rid of
awesome
him,
player, dude.
man, they
He's pretty
Philadelphia
nice about
has a
his fans
special
too,
guy.
right? Yeah, hasn't he been really nice about his fame and that about how good he is too?
Yeah, he's a lot
He's gonna
happier with
change it,
Philadelphia.
dude. They're gonna
He
start
said
having to
he
pay running
yeah.
backs, and then all of a sudden they're gonna say you can't hit these fucking guys so much because they're paying them so much, and then we're gonna be wearing fucking fluffy shirts and fucking rapier fighting. You know,
Mhm.
it's gonna go from battle axes and a guy that can break a shield wall to because you remember Jerome Bettis, right?
Yeah.
Or Christian Okoye, right? They could bust a shield wall, you know it. Just send him forward in full armor, whack. But
Mhm.
then now you got to have. I mean, Saquon Barkley is he does it like Barry Sanders did, dude. He really does. And I don't. Pardon me. I don't like that anybody would compare him to anybody else because he's his own man. But goddamn, we haven't seen a guy like Barry Sanders in a while. You know, you got your
Right.
speed demons. You know, you got your Jamal Charles. You know, and then you got your heavy hitters like a Priest Holmes who can heavy hit and run really fast, and they're just big body guys, right? And then you got Saquon Barkley, who's I mean, to me, the way his feet pound the ground is reminiscent of a Barry Sanders, and gosh, Barry
I
Sanders
like Barry.
was
I've always loved watching
one
Barry
of the
Sanders.
fucking greatest guys I ever seen run a ball.
Yeah.
I'm getting all antsy because I'm even comparing him. Getting all antsy because I'm even trying to make a comparison to a guy like Barry Sanders.
Mhm.
But Saquon, if he can, what I saw with uh, with him is he is LaShawn McCoy with the ball control. So he's got the good feet like that, like McCoy. He's
He's
got
got good vision. Saquon Barkley has
he
good vision,
he's got this ability to make sure that ball is safe,
and
right?
then he can break out of tackles.
And then man, he's got that side boom, just or that way, or back
Mhm.
forward, like a Barry Sanders or an X Factor, you know, I mean Dante Hall, right? Or you know, those guys that can move like Jesus, who is controlling this? Like that's a video game, just some
Yeah.
guy going like he can move like he's in a video game. It happens so fast. And then how in the fuck does he get hit? But he knows this guy's diving at his legs at the same time. And as he gets hit, he spins around and just goes, "No, you don't." Jumps over him. Highlight of the goddamn decade for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hell of a player. Now I'm giving Eagles props because I'm all nervous and shit, but I think the
It's
Chiefs are
gonna
going
be
to
it's
handle
gonna
them,
be a
bro.
good Super Bowl. I think it'll be a good Super Bowl. I mean, honestly, it's not what I wanted. I didn't want a rematch of something. I wanted something different. I wanted to see, if
Well,
anything, I
then
wanted to
fucking
see
tell your team to stop sucking.
right. I wouldn't mind seeing a Kansas City versus Washington or Buffalo versus Washington or
Now, I'm
or
kind of
Buffalo,
glad that they
but
didn't,
I
because
just
if
I
Washington
ju-
was that nervous
yeah.
against the Eagles, they would have shit their goddamn pants against the Chiefs because it was the Chiefs are going to always go out there and be just a little bit ahead and make it nervous for you. Like, oh my God, they stopped us. Uh-oh. And then it gets really nervous. And then maybe you go, oh, yay, a couple of times. But then the Chiefs hit you again and you go, fuck. It's like fighting a big brother that can punch harder than you.
Yeah.
But you're a little bit, you know, you're trying to be faster and stuff, but they just keep punching. They just keep punching and punching and punching. And you're like, fuck. You know, the Chiefs are just tough like that on defense, man. The offense is not really my thing. I just think those guys are way faster than I can. They're faster than I want to ride a bicycle, you know? On foot,
Yeah.
they're fast. They're really fast, and it's a really good line. and I think they've got the shit figured out where Mahomes feels a little bit better out there. But I know guys get through there and they hit him, and I don't like to see that. That's not great, but it happens. What do you do?
Well, it was a
I
good
did,
football game
I
in
don't like how
general.
much your team
Mhm.
runs Josh Allen. I think the guy needs a break from that because Jesus Christ, he's run the ball as much as Saquon Barkley, dude.
Yeah.
How many
Well,
times? How many times did Saquon Barkley run the fucking ball this year? Got to be over 2,000, or like over shit.
his
Got to
stats.
be over 700. How many times did
Let's
he run the ball?
let's look at some stats here. Let's look at individual stats. Let's go to here we go. So wow. That's awesome.
Because I think Josh has ran the ball himself like fucking 700 times this season.
So Saquon Barkley this season has carried the ball 345 times.
How many times has Josh Allen carried the ball this season?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. My computer decided
340 times, something, 345.
345. Let's go
Okay.
to Allen here. Let's go to Mr. Allen. Here we are. And let's look at what he has rushed. How many times did he run? Uh,
I'm curious. I'm very
rushing.
curious.
There we go. Allen, let's see the season here. Let's go to
You're killing
okay,
me,
there's
Small.
his Russian. There's his Russian. Well,
How
it's
many
not given.
rushes this year? How many
I don't
rushes?
know. It's not telling me. You got to give
What?
me a second.
You don't know how many times he's ran the ball? Like, Google how
102
many times?
times.
Jesus Christ. 102 times, bro.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen has ran the ball 102 times, and Saquon Barkley, the best running back in football, who's got yards to beat everybody literally.
Yeah.
He's got I'm a champion yards, like I'm one of the greatest of all time yards, right?
Yeah.
Um only ran it. He's got a third of the amount of rushes as Saquon Barkley. For God's sake, why
Yeah,
are
well,
you
if you
running your
include
quarterback
yeah,
that
if you
much?
include the playoffs, actually it's more than that. If you include the playoffs, it's 131 times.
Wow. So
Yeah.
literally, it if Saquon Barkley only ran the ball 3 times, you're going to run Josh one. If he runs at 6, you're going to run Josh two. If you run at 9, you're going to run Josh three. So you're running him like he's a running back. You got to stop running Josh Allen like he's a running back, man. You're going to get him killed, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um
scary to me, bro. His duty, I realize that he will put on the cape and he'll go do his thing,
and
but
if you
he's
include the
he's a
playoffs,
good
yeah.
quarterback and he's got a
And if you
hell of an
include
arm.
the playoffs for Barkley, he's ran it 301 time, 401 times. He's carried the ball 401 times.
So you're still at a third, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still at a third. He's literally wow, dude.
Yeah, because Barkley has carried the ball 66 times in the playoffs.
That
And
so
he
literally that means that you're running Josh Allen like he's a running back. Oh my
right?
god. Like that's a franchise quarterback, right? Don't you realize that you can't do that with him? You got to tell him no, no, run the ball, stop
You
it.
know, that's
Like
where
we
it
had to
comes
do that
down
with
to Joe.
Mahomes.
This is where it comes down to Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, talking to Josh Allen and trying to figure out how to be more creative in plays and how to get him to throw the ball and what to do,
Yeah,
and be like, okay, well, this year what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you have a quick pass, and like we're gonna get you a
yeah,
3-step drop. you're gonna dump it real quick. You're gonna find somewhere to go ahead and get that done. And
Yeah,
then
I like that.
and then we're gonna go ahead and have you roll out, but we're gonna make sure that we can scheme it to where we can when we're doing the X's and O's, doing some backyard football,
There's a
how
reason you're
Mahomes.
rolling out other
Yeah.
than running the
Yeah.
ball
And then
yourself.
what we'll
My
do is
good
we'll
God.
scheme somebody to where they can do a little pick, but don't do it to where they're gonna draw a flag for holding, you know what I'm saying? Like, "Oh, crap." You know what I'm saying? Like, we're like, if he's rolling out this way, let's go ahead and roll out this way. Maybe we'll give you a target at the other, side of the end zone because Allen can sling that damn thing. Maybe
Oh,
instead of
dude.
if him rolling out to the right and you have a wide receiver onto the left side of the corner of that end zone, if they're in that area, to where he could
Yeah.
just sling it over there, and that guy could be wide open because everybody's thinking he's over here, but then you have that one
Yeah.
guy that's wide open in that corner of that end zone, you know?
Yeah. I get it, dude. Fuck yeah, man. I like that. That's Anthony. They 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 don't want me to be a coach because I'll just end up being friends with guys and letting them stay, even if they're fucking up. And I don't
Well,
know if they want
I
you to
mean,
be a coach
they're
because you might out scheme
obviously,
them.
they're coordinators for a reason. They're coaches for a reason. I'm obviously not. Theoretically, probably, I'm pretty sure they thought about that along, as well. You know,
I
who knows
mean, but
what's going on
it's
in the
the right
scheme of
group
their
of
heads.
guys. It's the
Mhm.
right way to train them.
Yeah,
I mean, feed them ribs. Apparently, if you just take them to Kansas City, take all your guys there, and just let them eat ribs every
yeah.
day, because every rib place in the goddamn city is gonna feed you if you're on the team. And just let them eat ribs, bro. That seems to be the key. Or I guess the Eagles could just get Jason Kelsey to get off the couch and hop
Right.
in, and like they'll
So
probably.
Saquon's worst game in the NFL this season was against Cleveland. He only ended up getting 47 rushing yards, and he
What?
had 7 yards of receiving. They won that
Dang,
game,
dude.
but it was by 4. And his best game was obviously against the Rams with 255 rushing yards. And then he also had 47 receiving yards.
Dang,
So,
dude.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And in the playoffs, he's been a stud. He's averaging. I mean, let me get my calculator out real quick. I'll tell you what he's averaging per game in the playoffs. It's unbelievable and crazy here.
Unbelievable and crazy. Nice. I like unbelievable and crazy.
So he's got 4. So in playoffs, it's 442. Um, he has 442 rushing yards, right? In 3 games,
Yeah.
he is averaging 147 yards a game.
Fuck me.
He is
If he has
averaging
to
6
choose, dude,
points.
he better get 200 yards because we're gonna shut down Jalen
He's
Hurts,
averaging
man.
close to 7 yards a carry. 6.7 yards a carry. He has 5 total touchdowns. His
He's gonna get
longest hit.
stuffed a lot, dude. He's
Yeah.
about to hit the wall that is Leo Chanel. Okay, and
Mhm.
I mean, you're gonna have fucking Drew over there. Drew's gonna be kicking some ass if he gets past Karloftis and Jones. And I mean, and then my cornerbacks are going to be busy covering. So Jalen's going to be running around wondering what to do. And then, gosh, my safeties are just going to be, if the corners have it, the safeties are going to be just blitzing right in there to tackle Jalen anyway. So
Dude,
Saquon's going
yeah.
to he's going to run into a wall, bro. I like
Yeah.
Drew Tranquil, dude. I like Drew Tranquil. He's a strong sucker, and so is Leo Chanel. I think they must lift weights together. They could pick me up and chuck me across the road. Yeah, dude. And Big Chris is gonna be monstering Jalen all day. Oh my goodness, dude. We can rotate all the guys through really, and everybody's gonna be eating some lunch. I feel bad for the Eagles line to have to try to stop that monster bunch because
Mhm.
they're going to take the lid off the box. You know this, right? They're going to take the lid and they're going to take it off the box and they're going to let them out on a field, bro. They're going to let them out on the field, and the Chiefs defense is going to go out there and fucking win a Super Bowl because that's how good they are. Anthony, I wish I could high five you. High five. High five. Ah, nice. Yeah, man. The Chiefs are going to go out there and the defense is going to win a Super Bowl. The offense is going to look really good and they're going to do well above and beyond their job.
It's just yeah,
And
because it's crazy. Because with the playoffs, if you look at the playoffs with Saquon, man, let's do this because I'm kind of curious.
yeah,
You know, because he only played 16 games this year instead
here, I'm
of
going to see if I can
17.
plug this thing in so it doesn't die on us, bro. You got to tell me if you can hear me while this is charging, though. Ah, look at all the bouncing that's going on there. Sorry about that. I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah,
Ah!
Saquon is he's at this season, including the playoffs, he is averaging 128.78 yards a game.
Is it buzzing?
No,
Good. Can you still hear me?
yes.
Yes. I
Yeah,
think it's
like
gonna work.
Saquon, you just gotta you have to let Jalen Hurts just needs to start running. You know what though? The way they
Mm-mm,
did
mm-mm.
Allen, the way
He'll
they
get
did Buffalo,
fucking monster smashed, dude.
the way
If he
they
runs, he's
played
gonna
Buffalo,
limp.
they need to play that against the Philadelphia Eagles because basically it's like a cut and paste if you think about it. The only difference is they have Saquon and Saquon is a hell. I mean, hell, he's probably going to be the offensive player of the year. Well, actually, Lamar Jackson's going to be, but on the NFC, yeah, the NFC, he could be the offensive player of the year. Saquon Barkley,
I
you
think he
know,
should be. I think he should.
I
He
think he should
should
be
be
MVP
MVP,
personally.
MVP, or at
Yeah,
least OPOY for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Um.
it's just
Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year at bare fucking minimum. Absolutely all pro.
mhm.
Fuck Pro Bowl. That's a joke.
Hey, guess what? Allen's not playing in the Pro Bowl 'cause he won't play in the Pro Bowl. I know
Yeah,
he's
because he
out.
knows, dude. The Pro Bowl is like what I consider employee of the month, and then All Pro is what I consider employee of the year. Okay,
Mhm,
so just working man's perspective. You get all the employee of the month guys together, all 12 of them, and you just like throw them a bunch of booze and then let hot chicks go play with them, and then they go play fucking badminton and shit, dude. What the fuck are you doing? They're not. It's not even a game anymore. It's just fucking.
mhm.
It's a pageant show, and everybody's like, "Oh, I've got my fluffy shirt on. Let's fight with our rapiers." It's a fucking pageant show. It's not guys with battle axes. Those guys are sitting at home healing their wounds, being called all pros.
Mhm.
See? See? That's how I look at this, man. I like to think of this as some sort of like some sort of the thing they do where all the guys get together and they just beat the living shit out of each other and they're wearing armor and they're using blunted weapons, but they just beat the living shit out of each other, right? I like to think of the NFL as, in my head, it's that. I know
Yeah,
it's not because now it's, hey, put on this princess dress and then don't let anybody blow on you too hard or we're gonna call them for a penalty or something.
yeah.
And so, yeah. the all pros are sitting at home, healing their wounds, getting ready to go and just fucking apparently carry the load for 5 dudes again. And then the Pro Bowlers are like, I got there, yay, I'm an employee of the month, you know.
So I want you. This is just breaking news to me, man. Did you know that
Breaking news.
Chuck Pagano is coming out of retirement to be with the Ravens and to help? Ravens hired Chuck Pagano as senior secondary coach.
Senior secondary coach.
Yeah,
Who?
Chuck Pagano. He was a head coach of the
Pagano.
Colts. Remember
Yeah,
the
he
guy?
was at the
He had
Colts.
cancer. And he's coming out of a
Is
4-year
he?
retirement to return with the Baltimore Ravens next season.
I remember that guy, dude. He was actually pretty damn good. And he's totally getting the job, huh?
Yeah, he's going to be coaching under John Harbaugh.
That's pretty cool, man.
Those Ravens are just, I'll tell you what, I understand Lamar Jackson and all that, but I really like Derrick Henry, and I really like Baltimore and how well they play and how good they played, obviously in the regular season, and they
How can
really
you
are a
not
scary
like
team
him,
when they want
dude?
to be.
Other than all the fucking whining,
Yeah,
but
they are
like
really a
literally
scary football
all that
team.
aside, really, really good group, dude. Really
Yeah,
good group of guys, dude.
they are a scary football team.
But like,
I
it's not
really.
even them whining.
Mhm.
It's the fucking. It's just how fan bases get. Like,
Yeah,
what was the guy saying? Share the wealth the other day, and I'm like, fucking
yeah,
no. It's our turn, man. We waited so many years for this. We prayed so much. You know, worked our hands until all of these fingers were broken, and they still actually kind of work. But worked ourselves into this and just kept the faith and kept hoping and praying. And then it started working. So no, no,
mhm,
I'm not going to let go until it lets go of me. I'm keeping this because I'm living my childhood dream. I hope the Chiefs win this. And then I hope they go for a four-peat. I would be so happy if all my coaches said, we'll come back next year. If they win the Super Bowl, like we
mhm.
will come back for one more try. Let's
Yeah,
solidify this as a real dynasty and win four in a fucking row, and then nobody can ever touch us because who's going to do it, right?
yeah.
That would make me super happy. I don't know if that would ever happen. I'm living in a fantasy right now. It's a dream world to me. The Chiefs are actually this good, dude.
Yeah.
And Anthony, your team's gonna get there, bro. It really is. I believe
Yes.
because Josh Allen is that good, and we can't fucking win them all. And so maybe next year. But I do not want an NFC team to beat an AFC team for the rest of my life. And so
Yeah.
there's that. There is that because AFC has the toughest guy.
They have
And
good
we've got
teams. They have good players.
really the best coaches too. Really the
Yeah.
best coaches too. Look across the AFC. Shit, we got two Harbaughs. We got a Reed and a McDermott. You know, we've got a Vrabel and a Glenn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this shit's about to get turned, bro. It's going to be a
Yeah, now you
brawl.
have Pete Carroll with the Oakland Raiders
Oh
or
my
the Las
God, we
Vegas
got Pete
Raiders.
Carroll. Well, in my weird AFC West mind, the
Sean Payton.
Seahawks have always been AFC.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Seahawks
So
were originally from the AFC. They were
yes,
in the
I
AFC
know.
West.
And
They
if they're going
originally
to
were
add more
in the
teams,
AFC
they need to
West.
give us back the Seahawks. If they're going to add more
Yeah.
teams, then I want the AFC West to have the Seahawks again. I liked it having Seahawks fans around because they were respectful and they were good fans,
Yeah.
Like they just loved their team and like literally I don't I think I've only met one Seahawks fan that talked shit to me, and he's one of these new ones, right? No, I've always been a Seahawks fan. No, you fucking haven't.
Yeah, I don't there's a
You know
lot
you
of when the
changed teams
Seahawks
3
went
times.
to the Super Bowl and all that, and then they won, and then you get all of a sudden
Yeah.
now these Seahawks fans just keep popping out of nowhere,
Well, I
and it's
mean,
like
this is the guy that, yeah, after that Super Bowl, he
this
started
is
being a
well, think
Seahawks
about it,
fan.
in the '90s when Buffalo went to 4 straight Super Bowls, when Buffalo went to the Super Bowl against the Cowboys, all of a sudden all these Cowboys fans came out of nowhere. It's like, who what? Really?
This is the kind of guy that would make fun of your name. Mhm.
Yeah. And then they were like, well, I told them, I said, I'm a Bills fan. Like, what, really? Oh, you suck. I'm a Cowboy. Go
Ow!
Cowboys. No, like, I
All
don't
right.
care.
Yeah, okay. They can say whatever they want. And as far as I'm concerned, Cowboys fans, they've got a lot of pride. They're just like all the other fan bases, dude. And I will never judge Seahawks fans off of one douche. And so I
Mhm.
hope people don't judge the Chiefs when some guy shows up and talks smack on a different team because, like, we got to fan together the right way. I mean, I respect the shit out of you, bro. You're probably the coolest
Yeah.
Bills fan I ever knew. The way you handle it, and you just know, like, gosh, dang, dude. Well, we're still gonna be there, and then we were, dude. We got
Yeah.
there, and you still had that faith, even though over that period of time from last year's playoffs to this year's playoffs, even though there was some rough times for your team, you guys, damn, sorry, dude, trying to fix this.
There you go.
You guys seriously kept trudging through it. Your team did, and so did you. You know, I I saw other guys get upset and say like, "Oh, we got to change coaching midseason," and I'm like, "No, that is the worst idea." And the Jets even did that too, and that's just a fucking terrible idea. It'll just kill a season. And letting somebody talk you into firing a coach mid-season is just fucking absurd. Absurd. Uh, did you know that the teams that have the least amount of owner involvement have the most success?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, look at the
So
Cowboys,
if
you
you
know,
take a fella like
and the
my
Raiders.
owner, Mr. Clark Hunt. Okay, Mr. Hunt, let Andy Reid have the business to do his business. Okay,
Mhm.
listen, I want to see this. I would like to have this happen. And Andy Reid said, I like that, and I want to have that happen for you. Let's make a deal. I want the power. And the chief said, well, shit, nothing's worked yet. like Mr. Hunt said, nothing's worked so far, and I like the way you think, so let's do this. So go ahead, let's see what you can do. Well, I'd like to bring in this guy and this guy and this guy to work for me and get this done properly. We just need, just the cap. We can get this done. Pardon. And Clark said, let's win championships. And all of a sudden, we've got championships and we've got a Spagnuolo and we've got I mean, started out with the Alex Smith era for a good run and then turned into just sheer fantasy land. I mean, that's what happens. So at the Eagles, Andy Reid wasn't given the power to make those decisions, right? He there was I'm not going to point any fingers, but there was an owner, one of the owners in the NFL didn't give Andy Reid what he needed to succeed.
Mhm.
And then one of the owners in the NFL did. and I'll be goddamn. Look what happened. You know, like maybe the owners in the NFL could hire a Jamie to take over and hang out and just to like literally to tell them, don't butt in. Like, and I'll just stand around like that guy that Oprah hired to slap cupcakes out of her hand when she was trying to lose weight, right? So that dude that just showed up every time she grabbed a cookie. No,
Yeah.
I'll be that, and I'll be
So it
like,
looks
look,
like, yeah, Mike McCarthy is going to not be coaching this year. He's going to wait until 2026 to be in the cycle, according to ESPN. So he's out of his. He's not going to be a
he's
candidate
not
for
in the
the Cardinal
carousel.
thing. Nope,
He's
he's
like,
going to
no,
wait. He's going to be
I'm
waiting.
staying where I is. Smart, huh?
Mike McCarthy, in his when he was with the Cowboys for the 5 years that he was a Cowboy, his record was 49-35 with the
That's a
Cowboys.
dude. That's well over 500. So
Yeah,
the problem is they couldn't win in the playoffs, and I think that's what people get pissed about because you're showing all
yeah.
you're showing your whole goddamn playbook. And I understand the argument where yes, saying that you're holding back just for playoffs is like taking away from the team. I can see that. No, but what I'm saying is, as I've seen my team do through the season, there's something about that and the plays that changed for the playoffs. There's something about the scheme because they sit and they analyze everything you did all year long,
Mhm.
and everybody shows their shit, but for some reason the Chiefs just do what it takes just to get to the end of the game and have the W so that they can get to the playoffs. 'Cause that's when they fucking romp on it, dude. Every single player. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know what exactly the coaches are doing or if it's just the players that just get together themselves and go, you know what? We have built something here as a brotherhood. Let's go fucking do what we do. And it
Yeah.
might not even be the coaches. Maybe it stems back from when Marty Schottenheimer started teaching the guys how to be 100% class and brothers. And I mean, it was before that too, but it wasn't really a kingdom until Marty Schottenheimer started changing the Chiefs. And he began this metamorphosis. And now, gosh, we have the greatest guys I can even imagine being on a team, and they're all together. And I'm so pleased, and they're being that brotherhood, bro.
You know what's yeah,
Like
the
that
piggyback
that
off what you
that
just said,
brotherhood.
to piggyback what you just said, it's like w all the teams that were actually in the playoffs were the ones that actually played for each other. It was a family, it was what it was, not
Yeah.
taken away from anybody
I'm
else that
not
didn't make
saying
the
it was just the
playoffs.
Chiefs that do
Yeah,
it, bro.
no,
I'm
but
saying
yeah.
maybe it
No, no,
is
no,
the
what
players that are
I'm getting
getting
at here,
together.
yeah, but what I'm getting at here is, like, Detroit and how they had to come through adversity with all the injuries that they have had, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
look at, like, say, the Bills, for instance, like, how
Shit, go back to the
everybody.
Patriots in
Yeah,
'92, right? Was
yeah,
that '92, Tom Brady's first year, where he stepped
92?
in? They
No, that was
had what?
2002.
Oh, '02. '02.
Yeah,
God damn, dude, I'm old. I skip a decade sometimes, don't I?
yeah,
So what I'm saying is though that first year they won that Super Bowl and then started their dynasty out. That very first Super Bowl, they had like literally like 55 fucking 54 different starters that year.
Yeah.
So literally
Yeah,
everybody on the
that's what
team
I'm
had
getting
to
at.
step
Yeah.
in, like you're
That
saying.
yeah,
I mean, you got to give props where it's due, bro. Like if these
yeah.
guys can step up and show up,
Yeah,
win
that's
guys down,
yeah.
wow.
That's what I'm saying is when you have a team that believes in each other and plays for each other, they're going to
Yeah,
be more successful than some of the teams that have issues. Like look at the
for
Dolphins and how they
real,
dropped
dude.
away, and then Tyreek Hill made that comment at the end of the game, like I'm out. Where's the door?
So
And then
yeah,
he
I mean,
reneged,
but
and then he
you can't
reneged.
take Tyreek
You know.
Hill's word and
Well, you know what I mean, though.
decipher anything out of
I'm
that
using that as an
nonsense, dude.
example. It's an example. I'm using that as an example. I'm not saying that the Cleveland Browns, they weren't playing as a team. They didn't believe, that they did not, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah,
funny how if you look at all the playoff teams and how well they were and how far they've gotten, there's a reason why they were there. It wasn't just because of
yeah,
you
and it's
know,
not just the Chiefs that have that brotherhood
yeah.
thing, which is why I'm kind of liking seeing Aaron Glenn go to the Jets because they needed it, bro. And I
And
think these
Aaron
guys,
Glenn,
they have a guy they can rally
yeah,
behind and
because Glenn,
put their
yeah, because
swords up high and
yeah,
shit. Not
because
their
Aaron
fucking
Glenn
rapiers,
helped the
their
Detroit
swords.
Lions. Those Detroit Lions, that defense was so depleted, but yet Aaron Glenn coached them to where they were still there. They still kept on winning football
Yeah,
games. That defense
for
still
real.
kept on getting turnovers.
For real, dude. Man, I can't
It's
quite
just
reach that.
it's the environment. The environment, when the players are happy, that's why Amari Cooper, he didn't care if he had eight yards coming into the AFC Championship. He was just wanted to win. That's all
Yeah,
he wanted.
he wants that ring, buddy.
And he
And the
was so and
Bills
they were and he
are one
and that's
of
the
the
first time.
teams.
Yeah, and that was the first time that he was one win away from going to the Super Bowl. First time
I
ever in his
mean,
career.
for real though, but the Bills are a team that
Yeah.
is in line in the AFC to be a contender every fucking year.
I think Amari Cooper will be a Buffalo Bill next year. I hope so. I would love to
I
see it happen.
mean, why not, bro? Why not? Unless the Chiefs say, "Hey, you want to cut your price in half and come here and get a ring?" I don't know why he wouldn't be because the Bills are literally. It's like if if the Chiefs win this Super Bowl, hopping on the Chiefs team on a four-peat is like a 50-50, bro.
Mhm.
Like this year, I just knew that the Chiefs were going to be able to get there. So to me, this year was like, dude, jump on that bus. It's going fast. Why not take a deal? And I think that's why we got lucky. We got Hopkins for basically nothing. He wants a ring before he goes home. You
That
know?
Detroit that Tennessee Titan team they were lost. They had a good defense, but they were lost.
Right. Hi, chat. Tell us what you think about the Chiefs versus Eagles. I'm kind of curious. I think the Eagles are going to do pretty good, but unless Saquon Barkley has 200 yards, my boys are going to eat Jalen Hurts alive, man. So it's going to be dependent on their running game, which is hard to do when you've got Tranquil and Chanel, and then you've got great cornerbacks. And I mean, like it's going to be really hard for him to get 200 yards. But that's what it's going to take. It's going to take 200 yards, probably 3 touchdowns rushing.
Well,
But
I gotta jump off here soon. I gotta
yeah,
get
bro,
dinner.
it's 7:30. We've been doing this an hour and a half. And so, yeah, thanks for coming over and hanging out, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
And
Thank you.
let, let's do it again tomorrow night, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something different tomorrow night.
Well, let's actually do a deep dive into let's
The
talk about
Super
free
Bowl?
agency. let's talk about free agency. How about that? Let's look at
Okay.
let's look at some of the top 50. We could talk about the free agents coming up for each team coming up. And I know
Do we get to say yes or no if we want them on our team? So you can
whatever.
say yes or no,
I
and then
all
now
I want to do is
remember,
just
you're only
look
going
at the
to be
free
able to
agents and
take.
see
You'd
what
have
we
to trade
have.
somebody. You'd have to
Look at
trade somebody to get them,
because
right?
Buffalo's already signed a lot of. I've already re-signed a lot of people, and
Oh, for sure.
they're already doing stuff already on this offseason
Yeah.
already. Buffalo's being very proactive right now, and it's actually kind of cool to see. I'm actually impressed that they're being more
Well,
proactive because usually they
why
waited
not,
like a
dude?
month,
It's working.
you know? Yeah,
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You made a
yeah.
fucking AFC championship, so it's
Maybe next
obviously
year could be
not
the year.
broke.
I hope next year could be the year for Buffalo, man. That'd be nice.
That'd be pretty cool, brother. All right, man.
Yeah.
Have a great night, my friend.
All right, everybody, have a good night. Please like and subscribe and tell us your thoughts. And
Nice.
have a good evening, brother.
I'll see you tomorrow, bro. Good night.
All right, see ya.